I'm a lawyer and I pay $1,000 a month in spousal support to my ex-husband, who is a nurse.
You know, and all we can do is pray for her. But still, this is real shit.
You blew it.
Both of us entering into the relationship had nothing but debt. Of course, I knew about prenups, but having no assets at the time, it wasn't really something that I thought about.
Women.
You blew it.
Prenups are simply debt allocation agreements. It allows you off the hook if your partner during your marriage gets into serious debt.
You blew it.
That's the main function of it. See why this could be important?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
You blew it.
You're not on the hook for that because you got a prenup.
You sure about that?
You blew it.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another short video I have for you here today. And today we are going to be talking about something that, well, I would always recommend not to do. I would always recommend not to get married. You know, you never want to put yourself in a situation to where you could possibly lose over half of everything you've worked towards. But also at the same time, you shouldn't have to sign multiple contracts in order to keep someone away from your belongings. And that's kind of what a marriage is. You know, a guy will marry for, you know, if he loves the woman, he'll marry the woman, absolutely. But then she is marrying for something that isn't, you know, love, ultimately. And so that is just a reality we have to put up with. As men, we have to put up with women that will potentially want to marry us in order to get our money, in order to get our belongings. And so they have these things called prenuptial agreements. It's like it's a contract before you get married that is supposed to protect you, but supposedly what I've been hearing on TikTok is that it really doesn't protect you that much. And I have two clips we're going to go over, and we're going to learn a little bit about it. So go ahead, sit down, grab a beverage. Let's jump right in. Again, my name is Rat Boy. Let's get into it.
I'm a lawyer and I pay $1,000 a month in spousal support to my ex-husband, who is a nurse. A lot of people have been asking me, as a lawyer, did you think about getting a prenup? The answer is no, and here's why. My ex-husband and I met when we were 25 years old. I was in first year law and he was in nursing school at the time. Both of us entering into the relationship had nothing but debt. Of course, I knew about prenups, but having no assets at the time, it wasn't really something that I thought about.
So obviously, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say get married, whatever. It's really none of my business. I don't really care either way. I'm not going to be getting married, so it really doesn't matter to me. However, I am about to show you proof that it really doesn't matter if you have assets or not. Doing a prenuptial agreement, even though what I've been hearing online is that that any lawyer can cut through a prenuptial agreement is what I've been hearing. So you can believe what you want to believe. I'll never be put in that situation, but ultimately, even if you have mountains of debt, you can make sure that your partner is, you know, liable for all that and can pay it, because a lot of times women will throw their debt onto their husbands and then divorce them that way. Let's continue.
As our relationship went on, I kept making more and more money. And in the end, I was making about double what he was making per year. When we separated, he was seeking spousal support, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about whether or not he was entitled to it. What I did was a cost-benefit analysis of how much I would be paying him and what he was seeking versus how much I would pay my lawyer to fight him on it. In the end, I'm paying about $45,000 over 4 years, which is something I could live with. And if I had fought him on it, I would have probably paid my lawyer that in 6 months. Would I do things differently a second time around? Yes. Now that I am more established, I have 2 kids, I have a home. If I were to enter into a new relationship now, I would most certainly get a prenup.
Smart man. See, marriage does sometimes pay off. You know, that dude, he's getting paid. I don't know if it's worth whatever that lady's got going on. I don't know if it's worth that. I definitely wouldn't want to be put in that situation either way. But let's look at a little screenshot I have here. Okay, so here on this screenshot I have pulled up, we have a few points we're going to go over. I'm not going to read all of this, but this is going to tie into the next video I have coming up. But as you can see, there's a lot more here than just money, than just saying, okay, well, this belongs to this person, this belongs to that person. There's money. There's also family heirlooms right here. And it basically tells you that any sort of inheritance that you get from family members, you can put that into the prenup as well. And so if you have a bitter spouse, that spouse can't take that from you, which is, I've heard about that happening, sure. And then you have, sometimes you'll get married with children, attached. And so this kind of clarifies the property of the children, so the spouse cannot steal it from the kids, which is obviously wrong. You should, that is a very bad thing. And then down here underneath this is what's important here, is this clarify financial rights. Underneath this option, it tells you, and I am going to read this part. It says debt protection. Prenups also provide debt protection, going hand in hand with clarifying financial rights. Some people enter a marriage with substantial financial debt or student loan debt. For couples in this situation, they can enter a prenup and clarify that those debts remain the separate responsibility of the spouse who incurred them. They can also decide how debts incurred during the marriage will be handled. Finances can create blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. So just me doing about a minute worth of searching, I found this little snippet from Forbes, and it tells you everything you need to know. And this is why I think this next video is even more confusing. I was just so confused when I was watching this next one, because I don't think this person understands how prenups work. And studies show that a lot of times prenups do not work. It does not prevent any sort of malicious asset division during divorces a majority of the time. But let's go ahead and let's watch this second clip here, and let's see her opinions on it.
Prenups, especially for Black women, are one of the most important things that you could ever get. Let me tell you why. First off, this isn't financial advice. I'm just someone that loves knowledge and learning from other people's mistakes. Prenups are simply debt allocation agreements. It allows you off the hook if your partner during your marriage gets into serious debt. That's the main function of it. See why this could be important? Say your partner decides to spend.
I am going to be stopping this in several places. So what she just said is this is for debt that acquires during marriage. So that has, as far as I know, it has to be specifically outlined in the prenup. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, oh, well, there's, debt allocated by party one. Well, what if the other party accrued that debt under their spouse's name, which has been known to happen? That prevents that from happening. So that part is false.
All of your money, or they have a sudden gambling problem. You're not on the hook for that because you got a prenup. For you girlies who are super into bagging.
Who just has a sudden gambling problem? How does that happen? I'm married now, so I'm going to start gambling and get us $500,000 in debt. That it doesn't happen.
Rich man, this is especially important for you because, in case you didn't know, rich people have a lot of debt. Debt isn't a bad thing to rich people. It's a tool that is utilized. And say you come into the marriage with not as many assets, but suddenly you have to leave the marriage and that debt is in your name. Debt that you were not aware of and debt that you did not acquire. Getting a prenup is one of the best.
You did acquire it, though. You acquired it in that marriage. So this is the disconnect, I think, is because she is talking about some sort of random event that will possibly never happen. Like, people don't just go thousands of dollars in debt overnight. Maybe she sees herself doing that, using her husband's debt to kind of keep him with it. She is definitely trying to use a prenup very maliciously in this video, I think.
Things you can do if you're going to get married, because it starts opening the path to very clear communication. You can put all sorts of things in it to protect your interests. The issue is that a lot of people don't.
All sorts of things to protect your interests. Interesting. I like that wording she used there too.
Read the fine print, or they won't read the prenup because they're too in love, or they don't get representation to read the prenup and they don't negotiate it and they just sign whatever, only realizing years later that they got screwed. So please,
let's go ahead and make the prenup favor us in the very beginning. That way we're the ones doing the screwing. That is the thought process here, by the way.
please get a prenup, especially Black women.
Yeah, get a prenup. Get a prenup. I would advise the prenup not be written by a woman at all. Because they will just put in there that any debt accrued during the marriage will be the liability of said party, and then they will be the one using the card to steal your credit. That is 100% what that video was about right there. But let me know what you guys think. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'll be putting out some more videos here, and I really appreciate the subscribers. It kind of keeps me motivated to keep doing my thing. So I really appreciate that, guys, and I will catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.